Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nathan.
Welcome to episode 133 of Adventures and Mousecapades.
Drink. Sorry, inside joke. If you know, you know. Hi, Dean.
So there's like 5 people that know.
Yeah, it's fine. No,
Okay.
There's more than that. There's
Okay.
like 8.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we're 2 of them.
True. 133. Is that better?
133, that's right.
133.
That's right. Anyhow, this week we're going to talk about the fact that looking at our calendar right now is insane. And this month, July of 2024, is the last month that we won't be on Disney property until March of 2025.
Yeah, we're hitting a Disney property every single month from August through February in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Not the entire time. It's just little short trips here and there. But
Squad goals.
I don't know how this happened.
We kept saying yes.
I guess. And it wasn't all, it's not all vacation related either. Like there's a couple of work things that are happening that are
business trips are important.
exactly that just help.
Foster our deep need to be on Disney property.
Yes. Oh, that is a much better way than what I was going to say. So very good. Yes.
What were you going to say?
I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
Today we are going through our DQR
QDR.
or QDR. Sorry, I got my acronym mixed.
Get it right, man.
It still means the same thing. It's
Yeah.
just I'm dyslexic. I don't know.
It's our quarterly Disney report, our QDR. This time we're covering Q2 of calendar year 24, which is Disney's Q3 of 25. I don't know. We're looking at April through June of 2024.
With a couple of July stuff thrown in there because Disney just sneaked in some stuff that we should mention.
Exactly. So, let's dive in, shall we?
Yeah. This is not all the news. This is stuff that just kind of piqued our interest and we're like, oh, maybe we should say something about that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there may be some major news stories that we don't talk about, but that's okay. We are not a news podcast by any means.
No, but if you're looking for a bite-sized chunk of, what has been going on, we're here for you. And mostly because we want to keep all this stuff in our brains too. So this is self-serving. All right, let's talk about what has been announced and is going on in Disneyland first. What you got, Alicia?
On May 24th, Fantasmic returned with a new battle scene that does not have a flaming dragon. I'm excited. We are going to go see this in August. We will be down in Disneyland for D23, which is the Disney convention of awesomeness.
It's a Disney fan convention.
Yes, but Disney puts it on.
True, for fans.
Yeah.
Technically for members of D23.
This is true.
The official Disney fan club.
Exactly. We will be down there and we
Yes.
will see Fantasmic. So we'll let y'all know what we think of it.
Disney also talked about Disneyland Forward. It has been approved on multiple rounds through the Anaheim City Council, and it is moving forward. This is a reported $1.9 billion investment in the Disneyland Resort all up. They are going to expand parks. They're going to do all sorts of crazy stuff. This is worth a deep dive episode all on its own, but that's not necessarily what we're here for today.
No,
So-
we don't know what's happening yet.
Yeah,
They haven't really announced
exactly.
anything other than
Exactly.
we're spending money.
I wonder if we'll hear anything at D23 in a few weeks.
I don't know. I hope so.
I do too. Anyhow, this has officially been approved, and there is a ton of stuff that will be going on in Disneyland and California Adventure, and that whole resort area around the parks today is going to get a lot bigger with lots more to do in the next, who knows, decade, ? We'll see how this all plays out.
I think I saw something. It's like the next 20 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
because Disney is not fast at putting things up.
No. Speaking of fast, though, Autopia at
Yeah, that's very
Disneyland.
fast for sure.
Anyhow, it's going green.
Yay!
Indeed. So this was, original attraction, opened in 1955. There were actually 2 more versions of Autopia, kind of, go-kart tracks, if you will, that eventually sprung up around Disneyland. We're back to just the one these days. And there was a spokesperson for Disney who made an announcement, Jessica Good, and said that, hey, we're going to go fossil fuel free. So we'll see what that looks like. It wasn't really clear on what exactly was said. Well, we know what she was said and what was published. What's not clear is whether she's referring to some sort of hybrid vehicle, whether it's going to be all electric. We'll just have to see what plays out. I think one of the Asia parks I remember seeing is all electric. I don't remember which one, but hopefully there's precedent there. There was nothing mentioned about Disney World doing the same thing, but
Yeah.
I have to imagine what happens in one of those will happen in the other. I think we're all significantly over having to smell those gas fumes in that area of whichever park you happen to be in. This will be a very, very welcome change.
I'm going to speculate right here now that they're going to get rid of Tomorrowland Speedway in Disney World as part of their Beyond Big Thunder Mountain expansion.
Interesting, especially because that's definitely not Beyond Big Thunder Mountain. That's at the opposite end of the park. What are you thinking there?
Well, it's technically Beyond Big Thunder Mountain, just not the direction you're thinking.
In timeline? Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know. I think it's... We'll see. I have been known to be wrong many, many times before, but I think it's a huge area.
It is.
And they're wanting to expand on the parks, and that would be a great place to do it.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said, though. If you look at, especially in Magic Kingdom, your target audience there is little kids. I mean, obviously your target audience and moms and dads with checkbooks, but you're really gearing that whole place towards little kids who can't drive. This is their opportunity to actually drive. There's a reason Disneyland, in very quick succession after it first opened in 1955 with the original Autopia, had 2 more. And there's one of these at every single park resort. Not every single park, but there's one of these at every single resort worldwide. These are incredibly popular attractions for everybody. And
Are they people suckers too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I don't
are.
know.
I can't put into words. My mind is going a million miles an hour on this one. I don't think they're going to get rid of it, though. I think this is a big draw. I think this is a favorite. I think if you make it electric vehicles where people don't have to smell the gas fumes all the time, where your cast members don't have to work in that environment all the time, I think that's going to be a huge guest satisfaction win, and it's going to be even more popular than it already is.
I can understand why they wouldn't do this in Disneyland, because Autopia is interspersed throughout so many things. I mean, you really can't get rid of it. You've got the monorail smack dab in the middle of that, along with the Sea with Nemo and Friends, Journey to the Sea. I don't remember what it's called. The Nemo submarine ride.
Yep.
And the Old People Mover, which, it'd be really nice if they put that back. But
Let's not start.
but in Disney World, it's just a big open area. They definitely could transform that into something else. Whether it's a different variation of the ride, who knows?
Yeah, I'm smelling what you're cooking. It has been trimmed down several times over the years.
That's
I think
true.
in both parks here domestically in the U.S., both tracks used to be much bigger, and they've been shrunk down as other things have come in. But there's a reason those rides are still there in California and in Florida. It's because they are super popular and they're a big guest satisfaction win. So I'm excited to see these get converted over to electric. I think that's what everybody is assuming is going to happen. And we'll see how this all plays out. I would love to perhaps someday get into one of those cars again. Maybe if they revamp the cars and make them electric, I'll be able to fit in whatever the new ones look like. But right now, like my legs are just too long. And
You just have to go sideways.
yeah, no, not
Right
gonna
side
happen.
saddle in the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Anyhow.
I have taken
Yes.
I have taken us off the rails here. Speaking of rails,
Autopia, those cars do run on a central rail. That's why the kids can drive and they can't really crash into each other.
yes, this is true. They just bounce back and forth like ping pong balls.
Of course, you can crash into somebody else in front of you, but okay. Speaking of rails, what was that?
Disneyland reservations have opened for 2 new tours, and I would like to try and get on one of these in August. Although we have so much going on, I don't know if we
do.
have time to. One of them is the Disneyland Railroad Guided Tour, which includes a ride on the Lily Bell if it is available. So
We
I
need to do
Yes.
this.
if it's available. So there will be times when it is down. The Lily Bell is basically Walt Disney's personal rail car. Pretty sure his wife, Lillian, decorated the interior of it. And
Yep.
we have been able to see the inside of it. A cast member was just absolutely amazing and let us peek in one day. So that was
Yeah.
really cool. But I'd love to be able to sit in there and take a ride around the railroad on that.
Absolutely. I'm assuming you've been looking for reservations.
Yeah, they haven't opened up for a while we're down there yet. So I have to check again.
Okay, we'll keep looking.
The other tour, which may be kind of cool, but not as,
Nostalgic.
not as nostalgic and not as captivating for me, is the Cultivating the Magic guided tour, which you can learn about the horticulture in Disneyland and how it can tell a story, which is actually kind of cool. I think they like bring you through Jungle Cruise and a couple other different areas
Oh, neat.
of the parks and just let you know how they use plants and planting to tell the stories within Disneyland.
That would be really interesting. Unfortunately, you and I both have black thumbs, and they may ban us from being on that.
thumbs. Dead thumbs grow no plants.
Well done.
I have my moments.
All right, let's look across the Esplanade over in California Adventure. Over there, we have a new meet and greet happening with Anger.
I know, this looks so cool. I really hope he's there when we are there.
I do. Unfortunately, that may be part of Pixar Fest, which is going on through August 4th. And there's a whole parade. There's all sorts of stuff involved with Pixar Fest that looks absolutely incredible. I wish we could see it.
Yeah.
We land in California on August 7th.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of the stage shows and a couple of the parades, and let me just say, Sadness from Inside Out is my absolute favorite. I
She's a
love her
vibe.
character so much, and watching her doing her moves during the parades and the shows, I'm like, I feel you, girl, so much.
I wish we were going to be down there for Pixar Fest, but unfortunately, we're missing it this year.
Yep.
Maybe next year. We have, a few months next year to fill in with Disney trips, so we'll see what we can do.
We only
wait.
have one next year.
I just realized.
No, we have two.
Yeah, we're going to be down there for Sterling's performing arts thing, too.
Huzzah! Wait,
So-
that's April.
That's April, so we still have a hole in March. All right, we'll have to figure this out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but Pixar Fest isn't during then. So
No.
real time planning, folks. Real time planning.
Let's hop across the country, shall we?
All right. Disney World Resort. A new drone show debuted at Disney Springs, of all places, which is the downtown Disney of the East Coast. Disney Dreams That Soar, which is all about dreams of flying. It has 800 drones in the sky making beautiful pictures to awesome music, and it is running from May 24th to September 2nd. And we will not be down there to see it.
No.
That's okay. We watched it on TV a couple of times.
Yes, this looks amazing. I am so excited that they have figured out that they should do drone shows here in the US after we saw, at least on YouTube, the show that they launched over in Disneyland Paris. I am looking forward to someday seeing a drone show. whether it's this one or another one at a park, like I really am excited for what they're able to do with this technology. It's so cool.
And you're talking about the electrical sky parade.
Yes, over in Paris. Yep, in Disneyland Paris.
Caitlin and I did get to see the drone show that was there before that, and it was amazing in Disneyland Paris. We loved it so much. And with Universal doing a drone show now too, actually it's like a triple threat. It's a drone show, a water show, and a projection show all at the same time. It'll be interesting to see if Disney kind of moves forward a little more with their nighttime spectaculars and does add more drones to their shows in the parks, because they don't have anything domestically.
Yeah, I think it just takes the right venue and the right location to do these things in a safe way, and not have them fall on people, which is always a bad look.
Yes.
There was a show here locally in the Seattle area down in, I think it was Des Moines or Federal Way or something like that, for 4th of July, and there was like 200 drones doing a show, and literally like a quarter of them lost signal for some reason and dropped out of the sky into Puget Sound.
55 drones. 55 drones just fell into the water.
So that's not something you'd want to have happen and land on people. So, yeah. On April 19th, Victoria & Albert's restaurant in Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, TM, was awarded a Michelin star. This is very, very much long deserved. It's the first for a Disney restaurant to earn this coveted award. Others have been listed in the guide, but no star. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more what it's like to have dinner at Victoria & Albert's, go back and listen into last week's episode. We had one of my coworkers, Mike, on to talk all about having dinner there. That's episode 132.
We'll get there eventually.
Someday, maybe not this year. I don't know if our Amex account will sustain us through all of these trips and everything, plus doing a V&A dinner.
We've got all sorts of other stuff planned. I think that'd just be cramming too much into it anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
And then finally open is 1900 Park Fair. That is also in Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa.
TM.
This is a character meal for breakfast and dinner. There is a bit of a kerfuffle though, because the characters have changed quite a bit. This character meal was known for some very rare character interactions. You'd have like the stepsisters from Cinderella were there. Of course, nobody else is coming to my mind right now of who was there, but there were some other rare characters.
You had Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
you
Alice
had Mary Poppins. It was a really fantastic breakfast.
Now they have Aladdin as Prince Ali, Mirabelle, Tiana in her new Bayou Adventure outfit, and Cinderella. And all these characters
have nothing to do with each other.
Yes, they do.
Oh.
They're from stories that celebrate the magic of a wish. And there is a wish ceremony during the meal.
Shouldn't this be on the boat? Like...
They're missing Asha from the movie Wish, too. Is that her name? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember that.
That's too on the nose, though.
Oh.
Lastly, we heard that Genie Plus is going away. No, not really. It is being rebranded. And now we have, starting July 24th, next week, Lightning Lane Multipass, which... Multipass, which is effectively... It's FastPass Part 2, which is great because I think they're basically doing what all of us have been hoping that they do and just bring back FastPass. Perhaps
but
they
for a price.
Well, I don't like that it's for a price, but it's definitely where the industry has gone.
Yeah.
I like that it's not the price that we see in Universal, which is hundreds of dollars per day per person.
Yep.
So it's still a much better deal. You can pre-book up to 3 rides. I think it's fantastic. Like, it's not ideal.
Yeah.
But we're getting back to something that I think people can swallow and are starting to see some value again for that may perhaps be worth it. You can pre-book things up to a week ahead of time if you're staying on property, which is huge. You don't have to get up at 7 a.m. on a vacation day to do some of that stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how this plays out, when we're there later on in the year. And I'm very excited for the change. I think this is a big, giant step in the right direction.
Yes, I do agree with that. I still think it sucks that you have to pay for this when you didn't before. But
Yeah, true.
when the Great Panini happened, Disney used that as not an excuse, but as a accelerating factor to get to different business practices that they wanted to beforehand, but didn't really have a means to do so.
Absolutely. They had air cover to make a whole bunch of change. And this is one of the things they did.
Yeah.
As part of this change, the other thing that they've done is changed the Genie Plus individual Lightning Lane selection, blah, 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 blah. I don't have that right, but the name is insane. Now it's just individual Lightning Lane. So you have Lightning Lane Multipass. That's effectively what Genie Plus is. And then you have individual Lightning Lanes,
Single
AKA
use.
fancy rides. These are single turns through select rides. So these are the big top dogs, your Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, and stuff like that, where
You're
you're
paying
paying
extra fee for.
for just that one ride.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Diving down into the Disney World Resort at Magic Kingdom, Tiana's Bayou Adventure opened on June 28th to everybody.
Yay!
One of the interesting things about this is Disney Parks released on their YouTube channel and on their blog their own ride POV before anybody got to go on it. So before the media got to go on it and everything. So they got the jump on all of those content, folks.
So again, POV is a point of view. They basically did a video of a full ride through the ride. And I did not watch it.
I
Because
did. I don't
want to
care.
be
I know
surprised.
you want to be surprised, but I miss so much when we go on rides. I feel like I have to go over and over and over again. So
Yeah.
I just want to see it.
Don't get me wrong, I will watch it, but I just want to have like an authentic, I haven't seen this before, let's go do this experience kind of time. It's-
You and I are very different in that regard, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I will consume everything.
It's the same reason, like, if I really like a movie and I'm really excited about a movie, I won't watch trailers for it because I want to go in and be surprised and enjoy what the Imagineers or the movie makers or whoever has set out for me rather than coming in with a preset of expectations and use those assumptions as a jumping off point. I'd rather just react naturally. That's just me.
Over in the Storybook Circus area of Magic Kingdom, there is a new scavenger hunt type thing that they're doing called Smellephants on Parade. These are
Okay.
basically different elephant statues all throughout the area that have different art all over them that corresponds to the smell of the elephant. I know this sounds really weird, but these are things like an elephant that has popcorn art all over it, or looks like a churro or cotton candy, and those delicious smells of foods and snacks wafting out of that area.
Okay, got it. So it's not the smell of the elephant.
Nope.
Good.
It's the smell of the delicious snack.
Got it. That makes much more sense.
It's still weird.
Yeah.
And I think, if I remember correctly, Timothy Q. Mouse is helping you on your scavenger hunt or guiding you along. He is from Dumbo.
Cool. Over in Frontierland, the shooting gallery has closed and has fired its last shots. This is becoming a new DVC lounge in Magic Kingdom. So we were speculating about this, I think last QDR maybe, where they said something was going to happen and that they were going to do a lounge. We had much debate on whether it was going to be in Magic Kingdom or somewhere else because they just said that they were going to do a new lounge somewhere.
Yep.
And this was definitely one of the options. And I'm excited to see what this becomes. I'm fearful for the crowd loads of how many people in Magic Kingdom may want to go in there versus the capacity of the room. So we shall see how this plays out.
They don't have an opening date for this yet. They just closed the shooting gallery. I don't understand why they are putting this here. I realize I don't know the ins and outs of what Disney has available, but I know they have a lot of other space, especially over in Tomorrowland. So maybe they have other plans for stuff over there. There are buildings there that have been shut down for decades.
Yeah. It may be because the shooting range and that shooting gallery was starting to show its age and becoming a maintenance headache. And then, so they wanted to take it out, but they needed to do something, in its place rather than over in Tomorrowland. A lot of those spaces that are closed are kind of more easily hideable, if you will. Yeah. If you just boarded up the shooting gallery, that would be pretty awkward right there because it's pretty dense in terms of content. Of
They
my
do
memory,
stuff like that all the time, though. Go away, green.
Yeah. I don't think that works from 6 feet though.
That's all right. They'll put up the fake planters.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we will be checking it out once it's open.
Assuming we can get in.
Yeah. Also in Frontierland is the Country Bear Jamboree, which has been closed for a while for a refurbishment. And that has had its media opening with the All Up opening in just a couple days on July 17th. They have redone this attraction where no more blood on the saddle.
Jeez.
They are doing classic Disney songs being sung in a country style, bluegrass, rockabilly, all those type of things. So I think they have A Whole New World is one of the songs. Try Everything from Zootopia, along with a whole bunch of new flashy outfits. And I've heard that they also worked on the animatronics as well. So they are less prone to stop and do weird winky noises and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, the animatronics were a little old and tired. So that's a good change.
I wonder if they worked on the animals that were on the wall, like the heads, I think there's a moose, a deer, and stuff like that. Because you could definitely hear all the clicks and everything from them.
We'll just have to go and check it out and find out.
Yes.
Heading over to Animal Kingdom during an April Walt Disney Imagineering media event, Disney confirmed that a Tropical Americas theme is coming to Animal Kingdom, and we believe this is what's going to be going over into Dino Land.
Yep.
That's all we know.
Interesting theming. I mean, yeah, that's all we know. Yeah. There's a lot of speculation on this, like hoping that they're going to change the dinosaur ride to Indiana Jones because it's the same track. Who knows?
I think did they confirm that? I think they may have confirmed that or strongly asserted that.
Based on artwork, it kind of looks like that's what it could be.
Yeah.
They've released artwork that doesn't have anything specific, but hey, that kind of looks like Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Yeah. There's conceptual things that they've talked about, but nothing confirmed. I think this is a big focus of what we're going to see at D23 here in a few weeks. I think it's going to be what's going on with Beyond Big Thunder, what's going on in Animal Kingdom, what's going on with Disneyland Forward. I think we're going to have a bunch of big domestic parks announcements because let's face it, the international parks have been getting a large proportion of the love for the last 10, 15 years. And it's time to pour some of these new lands, these new animatronics, all the new hotness back into what we have here in the U.S.
Yep. On to Epcot. There's a new show in World Celebration Gardens called Forces of Nature. It's an acrobatic show on a rotating sphere. I've seen some videos on this and I don't know how to explain this. It's literally a sphere, because that's what it says. And it's people in different colored costumes just kind of doing their thing acrobatically.
Is it Tumble Monkeys in the Cage of Death?
It's not that big of a sphere. Like it can fit in Caitlin's room. It's like, I think maybe the sphere's like 7 or 8 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like them holding on to the outside as it rotates. The funny thing is, the most recent video I watched, you can hear the sphere squeaking through the music. So it's like,
sponsored by WD-40.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It does look kind of cool. Like just the feats of athleticism that these people do is like, yeah, I'm never going to be able to do that. And you have to train extensively to be able to do this. So more power to them for having that ability to do that. I don't know. I just don't get it.
Interesting. We'll have to see it in person.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Epcot's Food and Wine Festival will open here at the end of August 29th, and it will close on November 23rd. This is going back to the typical run length of the Food and Wine Fest pre-Panini. And so we're returning back to normal. I think last year we saw the Food and Wine Fest open in late July. They've trimmed a month off of this thing.
Yeah.
I don't think they need that draw right now. Now that the construction walls are down in Epcot, there's a lot more going on. And so they didn't need to have like special festival stuff to try to make up for it. So good to see that return.
Yeah, this basically leaves Epcot festival lists for 3 months in the summer.
Shocking. Also leaves them an opportunity to create a 5th festival moving forward, which would be the Epcot Festival of the Sun or Epcot Festival of, oh my God, it's hot and humid, I'm going to die.
That's
they may want to,
though.
Yeah, they may want to workshop the name of that, but
Epcot Festival, some things are worth melting for.
Sponsored by Frozen.
Yes. Also in Epcot, Test Track closed down June 17th. They're going to refurbish this. The new ride, well, it's still the same ride, but they're refurbishing it, sorry.
Test Track 3.0.
Yes, is going to have a nod to World of Motion, which is the ride that was originally there when Epcot opened.
Test Track 1.0.
Yeah.
What's old is new again.
Yeah.
And Epcot's Communicore Hall and Communicore Plaza finally opened. Walcott is no more.
Yay.
Opened on June 10th. There's an Encanto show that's roaming around in there these days. We're expecting this is where we're going to have a lot of the cooking displays and stuff like that going on for Food and Wine and some of those other festivals that they'll do special events in there. You could have special, like smaller stage shows happening in there as well. It's good to see kind of that middle of the park opened up.
Yep.
I've heard some rumblings that everybody was kind of like, really, you closed the center of Epcot for 6 years to rebuild everything, and this is what you came up with? Like,
it's an open space, though. I mean, there's a reason that they did that. It wasn't meant to be an attraction.
Yeah, I think the concerns that I've heard have been more of it's just. You replace an old cinder block wall with a new cinder block wall, and like it's not super themed or decorated or anything. And I know because it's meant to be a flexible space that you don't want to go hard into any specific theme, but I haven't seen it in person. I'm excited to see it and see how they use the space. I think that will matter. I also think this is a continuing example of a decades-old scenario where Imagineering will go in and land a new ride or land a new building and do all sorts of cool stuff and kind of not get the outside and some of the landscaping and all the rest of that. That's kind of like the last 5 or 10% of the whole project. They kind of leave that up to park operations, and then park ops has to make up that difference over the next year. I don't think we're going to see what Communicore Hall really can be and really turns into until we get through a couple cycles with some of these festivals. So maybe in a year or so, it will be a little bit more mature in its theming and its decorations and stuff like that. So don't judge this book by its cover too harshly.
We also have the Mickey and Friends meet and greets happening there, and there's some really cute backdrops that they have for the characters in there. That's pretty cool.
Nice. Let's look at Hollywood Studios. The Hollywood Studios Rock and Roller Coaster reopened on July 1st.
Exactly the same as it was before.
Wah, wah.
Give us Powerline. Give us Electric Mayhem.
Yes. Anywho, same old, same old. Hopefully it stays up for a little longer this time before its next major refurb that takes months. Because I don't even think it made a year last time, but I love the ride. I absolutely love the ride, but yeah, it needs some help.
Yes. Hollywood Studios also had its 35th anniversary on May 1st. So from MGM Studios to Hollywood Studios.
Indeed. Jollywood Nights has been announced to return. There was a whole bunch of announcements at the halfway to the holidays point, just like we saw earlier last quarter with the halfway to Halloween. They love to, about 6 months in advance, kind of roll out what's going to be going on. Jollywood Nights is returning for its second year. This is a glammed up holiday party that takes place throughout Hollywood studios. I will say if you look online for various content creators and their reactions, they were all there on opening night of Jollywood Nights last year, and it was rough. And if you scratch under the surface, you will find out that Disney does listen and learn. And by the next week, there was a ton of changes that had been made and things that had been fixed and addressed. So if you're interested in learning about Jollywood Nights and you're looking on YouTube or something like that, I would recommend finding something that was not from opening night of Jollywood Nights.
Not opening week. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've said this year that there's going to be some sort of skating show, like ice skating, not ice skating, but ice skating show.
Disney on Ice in Florida.
But fancy because it's Jollywood.
Yeah, but
Fake ice. It's going to be that fake ice that they have. I'm sure it has to be because you can't. Yeah.
Anywho,
Well, we will be going to one of these and we will report back on it.
and we're not going to opening night.
We are not going to opening night. Nope.
No.
Also, Joy is now a character you can meet at Hollywood Studios.
That's
from
so awesome.
Inside Out. Yeah.
Still want to meet Sadness though.
I do too. And Anger.
Well, Anger's over at Epcot, right? He's in Disneyland. Sorry, excuse
Yeah.
me. California
DCA,
Adventure. I'll get it right. I'll just keep naming parks, and eventually I'll have the
One
right
of them will
answer.
stick.
Yeah, it's California Adventure. In the wonderful world of DVC, the
Disney
sneak peek.
Vacation Club.
Indeed, a sneak peek of Disney's Polynesian Tower, the Island Tower, was released. We can kind of see some of the theming of what the rooms are going to look like. This will be opening in December, and some of the textures and the subtle patterns are just absolutely gorgeous. Again, there's lots of people who are prejudging everything. I really wish that would stop.
It's like they just see the colors. They don't see, like, you can't just look at the color palette. What they're doing with the textures and the patterns, they are very Polynesian centric. It is extremely well themed, but people aren't seeing that. Like, it really ties into the culture.
Yep.
The cabins at Fort Wilderness opened up. They look great. I do not like Disney's choice with changing these over to Disney Vacation Club.
Ditto.
And I don't think they're selling very well either.
Oops.
But the refurbishment of the cabins looks really nice.
Yeah, I don't know that the cabins were necessarily refurbished as much as hauled out and replaced.
Oh yeah, sorry. The replacement of the cabins at Fort Wilderness look great.
Yes, indeed. Let's turn our eyes to the international market. Disneyland Paris, the Walt Disney Studios Park, which is the smaller park next door to DLP, is now rebranded. It is Disney Adventure World.
This ties in a little bit more with the areas that they have there. They have the Marvel campus there. They are opening a Frozen Arendelle land in 2025. They have a whole Pixar area as well. So it's different adventures and things that you can go to.
Nice. Very cool. Looking over at Tokyo, specifically at Disney Sea, Fantasy Springs opened on June 6th. This includes new areas of the park inspired by Tangled, Peter Pan, and Frozen. Tokyo Disney Sea Fantasy Springs Hotel also opens along with those new theme park lands. And this is a hotel that opens directly into the park, kind of like what we have over here with California Adventure or what we see in Paris with the main Disneyland Paris Hotel.
Yep.
I cannot wait until we get our butts over to Japan, to Tokyo. we have this penciled in for a graduation trip when Sterling graduates high school. So it'll be a few years.
Yes.
He's just entering 7th grade, but it'll be okay. Speaking of graduation trips and Tokyo, I'm going to take things a little out of order from Alicia's notes here, but I will say that Disney just dropped on us this past week a surprise announcement that nobody saw coming, that there is a 9th ship that will be added to the Disney Cruise Line fleet. This will be owned and operated by the OLP Group, which is the Oriental Land Partners. This is basically the Japanese group that co-runs Disney's Japanese resorts alongside Disney itself. And not to be named yet, but this will be a ship that is dedicated to the Japanese market. It will be home ported there in Japan year round and doing all sorts of trips from Japan. It's supposed to launch in 2029 is what we heard. Super excited for this. And I turned to Alicia and I said, well, that graduation trip just got extended probably by a week, because if we're going to go all the way over there and do the parks and some other things around Japan, we might as well do a cruise while we're at it.
And I said, you don't have to convince me. On to additional Disney Cruise Line news. Itineraries have been released through spring of 2026. They have not announced any of the new Disney Destiny itineraries yet. Expecting those any day now.
Yeah, it should be really soon. Maybe at
Yeah.
D23.
Yeah, maybe. That seems a little late, especially if they're launching in 2025.
The very end of 2025.
The very end of 2025. It's July now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 18 months out. I think if I was them, I don't know why the Japanese boat was announced early. I think
it was a leak.
Yeah, probably that they had to kind of cover up for a leak. That's our opinion. We don't know anything about that. But that would be something that I would have popped at D23. With that not being at D23, what are they going to announce for the Disney ships? I mean, in the Parks and Experiences event that they're having over at the sports stadium there in Anaheim, that will be at the Honda Center, we're going to have to hear something about the cruise line. It can't just be completely mum. So we shall see what we hear. I think it's going to be rehashing a bunch of the stuff that we've already heard, and including some announcement around the inaugural cruising there for the Destiny. Looking at other things that are brand new for Disney Cruise Line, Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point on the southern tip of the island of Eleuthera in the Bahamas has opened. This looks like an absolutely fantastic beach day for sure. Cannot wait to go and visit Lookout Key. It's a very different departure from Castaway for those who are expecting it to be a carbon copy or something like that pluses up Castaway. They've taken a very different direction with this, which is great. I think it's much more beach and culture and nature focused than Castaway, which is kind of it's not a theme park, but it's very much more of a Disney themed experience.
Castaway is its own story. There's a full story behind Castaway Key.
Right.
Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point doesn't have its own story. It's already on an established island where people live. So it's celebrating the culture of the people that live there.
Right. The Bahamas are the story.
Yes.
And it's not just the Bahamas as a people, but it's the Bahamas as a culture. It's the Bahamas as a place, as a thing of nature. That's the story. And good on Disney for not trying to Disneyfy that. Yes, the characters are there and they're dressed in local costumes, but those were designed by the locals, by artists locally to celebrate their own culture there. I think it's great. Again, this is a set of expectations versus reality. And I know we have our own expectations that bleed into this too. So yes, we're talking out of both sides of our mouth, but
that's usually how it's done.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But I'm excited to go to Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point.
Yes.
I wish the name rolled off your tongue a little bit better, but yeah.
Oh, and we did forget a word there too.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Disney's Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point.
TM. Sorry. Got it. Well, speaking of looking at that, that's our current plan. Is we have booked one of those new itineraries that were just announced, and we will be on a sailing from San Juan, Puerto Rico to Galveston, Texas. That is a 6-nighter. It's a day at sea, a stop at Lookout Key, a stop at Castaway Key, a day at sea, and then we get to Galveston. I am super excited for that
This
itinerary.
is well over a year away. This is
Yes.
November 2025.
Yes. So, this is where, when we say, yeah, we plan ahead, this is kind of the level of planning. We go like, oh, look, itinerary. Yeah, we really want to do that one. Book it. We won't do anything else for this trip for a long time.
More spaces have been announced for the new Disney Treasure Ship that is launching later this year. The Scat Cat Lounge, which is themed after the Aristocats, is where Nightingale's Lounge is on the Wish. Worlds of Marvel will have a new show, or an additional show, I should say, that features Groot, because it's a longer cruise itinerary. It's 7 nights or 7 days. They need an additional show in those places.
Indeed.
And they've also announced a Haunted Mansion bar, which I am extremely excited for. I will buy all the things.
Yes, this is where the Star Wars lounge is today. The Hyperspace Lounge on the Wish.
The absolutely humongous Disney Adventure. This is the ship that is going to be going out of Singapore on 3 and 4 night cruises, has announced a whole bunch of spaces that they're going to do as well. When I say huge, this ship is going to have a capacity of 6,700 people and 2,500 crew. This does not appeal to me at all.
No, for reference, the Magic and Wonder are like 2,500, I think, max capacity.
Max capacity,
Yeah, that's full. Like every single bunk in every single room is full. The Dream, Fantasy, Wish, Destiny, Treasure, blah, blah, the TBD later, because the ship that's going into Japan is going to be based on that model too, based on that Wish model. Those are 4,000 max if every single pillow has a head on it. This is 6,700. So this is, 50, 60% bigger than anything that Disney floats today. It's ginormous.
Yes. And this is the ship that was already, I think, 75% built that Disney purchased. So this is not a ship that they designed from the inside out.
Right. The original design, I think, was going to be 8,000 or 9,000 people,
Yeah,
and Disney
a lot.
has chopped it down.
Yep.
So this was the global dream. The group that was building that went into bankruptcy largely as a result of the pandemic. And yeah, Disney bought the shell for pennies, literally pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. They named a whole bunch of different types of themed areas for this ship. There's the Imagination Garden that will have nods to Jungle Book and Moana and history. That's literally what they said was history. Like, okay. Discovery Reef will have shops and restaurants themed after Little Mermaid, Lilo and Stitch, and Nemo and Luca. There's a town square that also has more shops and restaurants and entertainment featured after Tangled, Cinderella, Frozen, Princess and the Frog, Snow White. Lots of princess stuff there, I'm guessing. And also Marvel Landing. And they just said that there's going to be attractions there. So
there you have it.
Yeah.
Attractions. All right, let's round up our quarterly Disney review with kind of our potpourri topic, looking at all the other stuff that didn't really fit neatly into a category. Disney Entertainment and Warner Brothers Discovery announced a partnership that they're going to bring Disney and Hulu and Max, or HBO Max, or HBO, because they're undoing that whole Max brand. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. They're going to do a joint streaming bundle. That's right, people. We're reinventing cable television.
Yes. It remains to be seen exactly what that's going to be, but they have announced it.
Disney legend Richard Sherman, the composer of so many songs along with his brother, passed away this quarter at the age of 95. They wrote just a ton of stuff for pretty much all of the early Disney movies, theme park attractions, you name it. It's probably likely that at least one, if not both, of the Sherman brothers were involved.
Yeah. One of the things I do want to note is if you have seen Once Upon a Studio, which was a short developed for the 100th anniversary of Disney, it's amazing, by the way. There's a little piano tune in there of Feed the Birds, and that was recorded and played by Richard Sherman on the piano in Walt Disney's office specifically for that short.
Yeah, it's... yeah. All the feels going on here because we are Disney nerds, and there's just a lot of history in that little sentence that Alicia said. Looking on to other potpourri items, holiday stuff was announced because it was halfway to the holidays. Disney made some changes to DAS. This is the Disability Access Service. Basically, the DAS system will work in the parks the same way as it does today. No changes there, but they are using a third-party group that, frankly, most other theme parks around the country use to do the initial vetting and validation that, you know, you or your party have a need to get into DAS. There's been a lot of blowback on this because I think there's some people that were leveraging DAS historically who don't qualify anymore, and I feel badly for their experiences, and that's really not ideal. That said, DAS was being abused, like completely abused.
Yeah.
There were scenarios we've heard on Disney Dish with Len Testa explained in one of their episodes when this got announced that folks who are on DAS with a disability that qualifies were and have historically been something like less than 5% of park guests. But I think it was Splash Mountain before it went down to be converted into Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Splash Mountain was seeing 70% or more at times of its hourly ride capacity being taken up by folks with DAS. The system was being abused by folks.
It was being abused.
And I understand that, you know, with any change, there are going to be edge cases and some fine tuning that need to be made. And like I said, I feel really, really bad for the folks that get caught up in that. And I don't mean to minimalize their experience or trivialize their experience at all. However, by and large, from the grand scheme of things and the big picture, this is a good change.
It needs to be tweaked because they are, from stories that I've seen, there are cases that definitely should be qualifying for DAS that are not. And they're having to say their story to 3 or 4 people separately in order to go through stuff, which is not okay in my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
No matter what Disney did to try to correct this problem and the abuse, it was going to make people angry. And like I said, I feel really sorry for it, but it's you know, something needed to happen. And I look forward to all of those issues being ironed out and this becoming a lot smoother as time goes by. It's unfortunate that there is as much churn and negativity and bad experiences that are happening. I have to believe that Disney wants to rectify that, but I think going back to the way it was is not the way forward.
No. On to other things. For film news, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace celebrated its 25th anniversary.
Wow.
Yep.
Yikes. Inside Out 2 came out on June 14th. Just 1 month in, it's already the highest grossing movie in Pixar's history. It surpassed Incredibles 2. It's made $1.25 billion worldwide. It's currently the fourth highest grossing animated movie of all time, at least as of when these notes were taken. It's probably changed at this point. Frozen was just ahead of it at 1.29 billion. Super Mario Brothers was 1.36, and Frozen 2 was 1.45 billion. I have a funny feeling this is going to probably take the top spot before it's all done. It's an incredible movie.
Yes, it is. It's very good.
So well done. And I'm really stoked to see Disney put a movie out that does super well. And interestingly enough, we had a bunch of folks before the premieres to the public were like, it's not going to do really well and we should ratchet down expectations. Stop it with the prejudgment.
It did really well.
Blew everybody's expectations out of the water.
Yeah.
So congratulations to that whole team.
And last, but certainly not least, Donald Duck celebrated his 90th birthday on June 9th.
Congrats, Donald. Maybe for your 91st birthday, you'll learn how to put on some pants.
They're just clear.
The emperor has no clothes.
It's feathers.
No, the emperor has no clothes. I'm sorry. I am just going to call it as I see it. And I don't see it.
He's a duck.
Mickey is a mouse. Minnie's a mouse. They wear pants and dresses, not necessarily interchangeably, but you get it.
Daisy doesn't wear pants.
Look, I'm not
Although her feathers are arranged in a way so it kind of looks like she has a skirt on.
At least she's trying.
She's got cover. They've got covering. At least Goofy's not walking around. Oh, wait a minute.
No comment. Anyhow, as you can tell by that train of thought, we are not affiliated with Disney or their subsidiaries. These are our personal opinions and suggestions based on our own experiences. We recommend working with a travel agent or contacting Disney directly to plan your perfect vacation.
If you have any questions or suggestions, or if you'd like to be interviewed on our show to share your own Disney experience, please send an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
Please do give us a follow on social media. We're at Our Mousecapades on Instagram and Facebook and Threads and YouTube. And there's still some automated postings that make it over to Twitter. We're all over the place. After you do that, please give us a rating and review in your podcast app. It really helps people find us.
And of course, don't hesitate to share us with your friends and fellow Disney lovers of all ages.
Thanks for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.